on an art hit. Sorry, on like just an art critic perspective, I'm like, yeah, Kanye is an incredible case study of the art being so good that it creates such a tug of war inside your mind in real time about the complicated nature of how
of the person
people,
that made the
how people can be, which is a really interesting case study because most art that like transcends time, you don't find out about that art being good until almost after they died. Like very few artists are celebrated in real time, right? That's like a rarity even in other art forms, right? Like, you know, Michelangelo, Van Gogh, like there's a lot of art that you didn't find out how Basquiat, like there's a lot of art that you didn't find out how great they were until after they passed. So they didn't get celebrated in their time, which in a lot of ways does a good service to who they are as people. Because if they were shitty people and they find out that that their art is phenomenal, you almost like sanitize how shitty they are. Because that's not the important part. You're not watching them in real time do something shitty. You know what I mean? But to the artists that are celebrated in real time, especially when they're that good, you kind of put a spotlight on how complicated they can be.
Yeah.
And Kanye is like the epitome of that.
For sure.
Because a lot of things get conflated. Like I think the word genius gets thrown around a lot. And I just don't think people understand what that means. And because people resonate so much with the music, it clouds the definition of certain words.
Perception of what that is.
I'm not saying he's not good at what he does.
Right.
But like a genius is somebody that understands what they're doing. You know, like understands it to the point where it understands how it affects culture. Like there's only very few geniuses out there in the history of the world that have ever existed. Like few people that are like, this person is a genius.
Who are some people that off the top of your head?
That are artists or just in general? Because this is not inclusive to like art.
I would.
So like Einstein is a genius.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You can name from art or just from total popular total.
Einstein is a genius because he literally figured out a new way to think about the universe. You know what I'm saying? And his discovery influences absolutely everything about how we live life now.
Right.
Like we wouldn't have most of the things that we have now had it not been for Einstein. The world wouldn't have gotten smaller. We wouldn't have figured out the atomic bomb. We wouldn't have been a super literally and a lot of the things that we keep figuring out,
like world shattering.
A lot of things that we keep figuring out about the universe prove his theory. And he couldn't even figure that out because he didn't have the technology. So he was so smart and so revolutionary in that sense that he was able to come up with when he came up with the theory of relativity. It's so good that the more we keep finding out about the universe, the more true it gets. Mm-hmm. And he was able to do that with just pieces of paper and math. So that's a genius.
I was gonna say,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna nerd out for a second because I love anime.
Okay,
and,
cool.
I'm into one of them called One Piece, and they have
One Piece is so good.
Yeah, there's a character that they mirrored after Albert Einstein.
Yeah,
and he's got like the German in the English version. He's got like the German accent and everything.
That's
too.
funny.
And I just thought that was like a funny resemblance to make.
So that's kind of like what I think about whenever I use the word genius.
That's.
Yeah, in an artistic sense, like if I wanted to label an artist a true genius, I think I would go towards like Dostoevsky maybe or Shakespeare. Writers that are like, you are operating on a different, like you're capturing the human condition in a way that like it resembles philosophy and morality, and like you're operating on a different level, right? Which I think is very difficult to achieve on a pop culture type of way. If I wanted to put it specific to music, I think a genius would probably be...
Did you say like Paul McCartney?
No.
No?
No. I don't even think Paul McCartney was the best Beatle. I think George Harrison.
George Harrison is my favorite Beatle.
I think George Harrison is my favorite Beatle. I think George Harrison is definitely the best Beatle.
Maybe the genius of...
If what people mean by genius is that they came up with something that's so obvious that you wish you would have came up with it and it's so like intrinsic, then I guess if you've moved the definition like that, then there are plenty of people that fit that description. But for me, a genius is somebody that is very intentional with what they do. It's not an accident. You can't accidentally be a genius. You can't just like, oh, I must like it filtered through me and like I came up with this chord progression, just so happened to like, put these lyrics together. But then like you go into the studio, you didn't produce it. You didn't put the mics together. You didn't do the mastering. You didn't do that, right? You weren't informed in any of that. You just did the thing and somebody else, like the finished product had a lot of collaboration involved and then you get credit for the genius, right? Like that to me doesn't cut it. You know what I mean?
10 other people
involved in it. I'm not saying that 10 other people are the catalyst for why it sounds so good, but like Michael Jackson's Thriller is great, but Quincy Jones had is the big reason why that sounds so good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like he's a phenomenal singer, he's a phenomenal and his ear is immaculate, but like Quincy Jones, without Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson doesn't sound the way he sounds, and that's just a fact. You know what I mean? So if I had to label a musical genius, I would say somebody like Fela Kuti, maybe, or like Prince. Prince probably like gets really close to that metric because he played a lot of his instruments.
He played every instrument.
Yeah, he was a producer. He was so meticulous about the mix and so meticulous about the mastering. Like Prince was really like a Swiss Army knife of music.
Absolutely.
As opposed to like somebody that's just really good at one thing and then everybody around them, it's their job to make that one thing pop. Whereas like Prince is like, no. I can see everything. I can see everything in real time on the back end.
That's a great point to make, yeah.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, whether people like it or not, to me, Kanye doesn't fit that description.
Word.
Kanye fits the description of somebody that is really talented, that can hone into something intrinsic and ineffable about him as a person. He definitely has a good ear for beats. His production is great. Insane, it's phenomenal.
There's
right?
no denying.
Right.
Sure.
There's no denying. But even then, I don't think he's a better producer than Jay Dilla on a producer sense.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? In terms of like how insane Jay Dilla
really was,
dude. Like it's stupid, right?
Like you've seen that sample breakdown of like "Don't Cry."
Oh yeah, dude.
And like all of that stuff is just like insane.
Man, I think Kanye just has a really great. His talent is figuring out a way to have just enough underground appeal and just enough provocative mainstream sensibility.
Yeah.
Which is a talent in and of itself. But not genius.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Because like. You have to have a certain level of simplicity there in order to capture a lot of people, right?
Right.
Genius is something people mostly don't understand, and that's really like you and I can try to explain to somebody that doesn't know anything about hip hop how great Jay Dilla is, and they still wouldn't understand.
Right.
You have to. The only way you can understand how good Jay Dilla was is if one, you like the music for starters, then you have a knack for underground hip hop, and you get.
And then learn about what
and then you have
sampling. You learn about what beat making is. You have to learn about what the MPC 2000
so
is.
Intricate,
you know, like
that like by the regular viewer can't understand how good Jay Dilla was. But to the people that know and know how long it takes to get that good, let alone that good.
Right.
Now we're in territory of like you are such a intentional, deliberate, artistic person.
Right.
That it's that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, man. I mean,
Jimi Hendrix, maybe.
Right. I would be lying if I said I didn't want to like achieve like some higher levels of stuff with my producing and my DJing and stuff. You know, like, and that's something. I think I include that. I think I included Kanye because I feel like a lot of people that. Obviously, you know, they followed the story of like how he came up and then when he made it, right? Like just that alone is hella inspiring, you know?
Yeah. No, he's definitely inspirational.
Right.
His story, like people being enamored with his story doesn't take away from the fact. Like,
not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
I think also it's one of those things where coincidentally the the music is just like top tier, right? And so it's just one of those things where
I can give you plenty of good things about Kanye.
Right.
His tenacity, his perseverance,
yeah.
his ability to not give up. Like he got rejected so many times, and he's like, "No, I'm dope because I'm dope."
I think that's what a lot of people kind of like really, you know, obviously it's like it is like commendable, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so I think that's like that's what added to the appeal too.
But the fact that most people want to be him because they resonate with the story does not a genius make.